Namaste. Namastizzle. Peace and many blessings, brothers and sisters, and all who will be watching this broadcast. Shalom. What's up? Magic LaQuire here. Hopefully, y'all are having a great day today. Today is Tuesday, August 27th. It is the day of Mars. Although I'm not wearing it, the color is red. Okay. Give me a second. All right. What is the deal? How are y'all doing today? What's up, Tosh? How you feeling? How is it, by the way, in Chicago? I am surprised at the temperature drop. It has dropped tremendously, actually. It rained this morning and we got cooler temperatures. So, just like I was telling y'all before, the 100-degree weather's gone already. And usually we'll have at least damn near a month of 100-degree weather. And now it's 91 from 105. See what I'm saying? What's going on? Peace, brother Konami. What's the deal? Peace, brother Ty. Greetings, Caribbean Grimoire. M.I. Masters. Namaste. Peace, brother Moore. The family's in the building. Again, today is Tuesday, day of Mars. Okay. What's going on with y'all? Hopefully, y'all saw the broadcast the other day on Sunday. Me and brother Michael Bell, aka the professor, we did another interview, and that brother's always on it, y'all. I mean, like always. Peace, my cherie, aloha. Wow, Lenora Rice, how are you? I have not seen you in a month of Sundays. How you doing? Good to see you. I can't read past the third grade level. I can't research much. Shall I do a pause for that? I know damn well you lying. I know damn well you lying. Okay. Oh, thank you, brother Caribbean Grimoire. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Wow. I've done something that I haven't done. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed. I plan to have him on again. We didn't get through all the chakras that we were doing, so he's going to come back and finish that one. Last week, my wife and we went to somewhere I haven't been in years, and I felt like a kid again. You know what I mean? Went to the library. You know what I mean? Went to the library, and I remember when I was younger, spending hours, literally hours, at the library. I actually stole books. That's how much of a nerd I am. I stole books. I like reading that much, but it took me back to a simpler time when I could get lost in books. So for me to read a fiction book now is kind of weird, but I got right back into it. It's hot as hell in Chicago. Doing well. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste to the missus. She calling me a nerd, but if I was to sit here and tell y'all some of the nerdy shit she does, she wouldn't have nothing to say. So I'm going to pretty much punch her in the head as soon as I get off this broadcast. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Gratitude, Sister Christelle, aka Cosmic Chaos. How you doing? You know, Stephen King's my all-time favorite author. Right after him is Dean Koontz. And the reason I bring these two up, as well as Clive Barker, the reason why I bring these two up, remember, I'm always saying occultism is in everything. They hide it everywhere, like in role-playing games, in movies, in anime. Include fiction in that. You see what I mean? The Talisman is one of Stephen King's most metaphysical books I've ever read. The Dark Tower series, metaphysical. You know what I mean? Then you got Clive Barker, who wrote The Great and Secret Show. He's also the author of Hellraiser. See what I'm saying? Hellraiser. All this shit is metaphysical. Okay. So although I'm reading a fictional book by Dean Koontz called Soul Survivor, there's metaphysical concepts in it. And now I'm recognizing it right away when I read. Peace and blessings, Legacy Sigma. What's going on? How is the Celine Capensis going? Because right now, what I'm doing, my cocktail consists of amanita as well as magnesium threonate at night, plus 5-HTP, tart cherry juice, and so on and so on. Used to take the barcodes off of the library books. Man, they got smart on me by the time I think I turned 14, because they started installing metal detectors. And the Philadelphia Library, that's one of our landmarks. It's huge. You know what I mean? It's huge. And I used to spend hours down there on Saturdays. I would take, this is how far back I'm going to go with this. I would check out records like radio shows, like The Shadow. That's how, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, highly honors Stephen King. Yeah, absolutely. You can't tell me this man don't know something. Him and Dean Koontz. Dean Koontz has another one called Lightning. The Servants of Twilight. I'm naming these ones that now I recognize that they're metaphysical in nature. You know what I mean? Actually got The Talisman. The Talisman is one of my favorite books by Stephen King. The Talisman. Hell, The Shining. I'll watch that movie every single time it comes on. You know what I mean? Every time I will watch it. Dreams consistent, combining your astral mantras with some other work for lucidity now. When's the last time you went lucid? Remember, during the day, you should say to yourself, am I dreaming? Look at your hand. Do things they call what they call reality checks. That's what they call it. Do reality checks throughout the day. You'll be surprised at how your mind will eventually pick that up and start doing it. But I'm glad to hear that you're having consistent results. The thing is, it's going to take some patience before you actually become lucid. You know what I mean? It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some practice. Trust me on this. Don't get frustrated. Do not get frustrated. It will come. Just keep at it. Okay. Just remember that the lucid dreams, those are your classes. And I couldn't reach the books when me and Michael Bell was talking, but this book corresponds to what we were talking about on Sunday. He has a whole section in here on colors. Look at this. See that? This is about colors. This is about the importance of colors. Please see the professor and I. Look at this. Sundays live. Okay? Sundays live. This is one of the basics. You know what I'm saying? So, if you ever taken one of my classes, I teach basics when it comes to metaphysics and magic, right? People think still it doesn't matter, that color isn't important. You know what I'm saying? Colors have vibrations, as with all things. Matter of fact, let's go to Tai Chi Quarterly. Go to Tai Chi Quarterly. And let's look at this together. Can y'all see that? This is the occult Sufi history of the color black. Okay. What if food had no color or air was without the color clear? What if you couldn't determine the color of your shit? Wow. Or the amount of melanin on your skin. These are just examples of the importance of color or tone. We all know that speech has a tone of voice which determines the intent of the message. Since we see a tenth of the importance of color in nature, I'm still reading. We understand that there's a market for those who can cultivate and merchant it. Color can be harvested in many ways, but when we look at the history of color, we find that color was harvested in some of the most ingenious ways. Black is called a non-color, like that of white, both having a very different history. Black actually is absorbent of color and heat, making black the embodiment of all colors or light. White, on the other hand, is reflective and cause light, color, and heat to bounce off. The great alchemists who first discovered by creating such things as pencils, pens, ink, paint, dyes, which in turn set the stage for Moorish wealth. See what I'm saying? And there's still people who think that it doesn't matter, But this is one of the basics of occultism, of doing magic. All right, where are we at with these comments? Let's see. It's been a struggle, not gonna lie, but my occult college work is helping a lot. Okay, you're talking about with terrain. Okay. On Persephone, I've been quite lucid. Okay, I'm with that. Mugwort under your pillow, I swear by it. Now, do you need to? I have mugwort under my pillow, but see, I'm not sure if that's what's making me dream. I dream every night, but I have something in a mojo bag. I have some mugwort, so I'm gonna do some other experimentations with mugwort. But those of you who have ever experimented with mugwort tea, please let me know. Write something. Give me an example. You went lucid when you first started reading the Arabian Nights. Isn't that? I'm not familiar with his classes, but isn't that the goal, to go lucid when you read the Arabian Nights? Mugwort in your pillowcase is way better than drinking it. I drank mugwort tea for an entire summer with no lucidity. How much did you drink? And you never made mugwort to drink. Okay. I thought some people swore by mugwort. I really did. Oh. Mugwort will help you dream. Okay. All right. Y'all use mugwort tea, and is it like clear, vivid dreams or regular dreams? Are you like lucid dreams? What's going on there? Swear by mugwort tea weekly. Okay. 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 I hope that you and everyone in the chat is having an also amazing. And she called me a nerd, right? Right. We make a special blend. You do swear by mugwort tea. Okay. I drank 2 cups worth with a handful, sometimes more. Okay. When Stephen King's parents divorced, he found a box in the attic that his father left with H.P. Lovecraft material. That's what started his journey. I never knew that, and I consider myself a fan of Stephen King. You know, I got one of his big novels called Skeleton Crew. I hadn't read it since I was a teenager, and it's a collection of short stories. And one of the most fascinating stories in there is called The Jaunt, Jaunt. You might be able to find The Jaunt. You might be able to Google that. You know, um, fascinating story to me for literally an entire summer. Very lucid, very vivid, lucid. Okay, okay. I am going to start. I've never had mugwort tea. Never. My problem is the dream will be so real, I'll assume it's just me living my daily life. Yeah. And when it's like that, that's when you have to tell yourself, I am dreaming or I am on the astral plane. I used to say that phrase to myself. Okay, I'm on the astral plane. When I realize I'm dreaming, that's when you can take control of the dream and fly and go fuck with people and whatever you want. It's a very freeing experience. I did dream a lot, but my dreams were weird as fuck. They're going to be. you know, one of the most fascinating things about the human brain and the subconscious is that it takes in everything you see every day and it plays back to you when you dream. That's why a lot of shit doesn't make sense. Imagine the millions of things that you're looking at every day that your conscious mind is not aware of. See what I mean? Ooh, excuse me. Have you seen the second part to The Shining, Dr. Sleep? I did. I was a little disappointed. I expected more. Okay. It may be one of those I may need to watch it again. But yeah, I have seen Dr. Sleep. But I will admit it was in the early stages of my spiritual work, is maybe that can attribute to no progress. That's the thing. Just like with all occult work, you got to keep going. Okay. A lot people get frustrated, and I get it, but you can't let that stop you. You got to keep going. I put mugwort in a sachet like an eighth or quarter of weed. Oh damn. Okay. All right. All right. So I also wanted to let y'all know though that um a lot of people will take things for face value and won't do any research. So anybody can get up here and say anything and then people go with it. But how far are you willing to do your own research? All right. Even today, most of the grimoires that are put out, they are coded. All right. Think about it. The occult sciences was never meant for the masses of people to have. Okay. And a lot of the, like I said, especially the classical ones have coded information in it. Okay. Believe it or don't. All right. But when you wanted to know deep spiritual secret, like secret occult sciences and knowledge, gnosis, you had to go study at the foot of a master. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. All right. A perfect example of this is this book. This guy is a very good author, Stephen Skinner. Okay. Techniques of Greco-Egyptian Magic. This book cost me close to $60. All right. There are some things in here, but what you really need to understand this book is the Greek magical papyri. Otherwise, this is not going to make sense to you. None of it. You see what I'm saying? None of it. What's going on? Gotti. Now I would say the mugwort in the pillowcase is powerful, like you don't need nothing else. Okay. Keep that in mind. What's going on, Sister Visa? Brother Gotti, what's going on? Gratitude. Yes. Techniques. Remember, Greece conquered Egypt. So, yeah. I'm going to try that. So far, I've been smoking it with my weed. Is that? I ain't going to do that because I don't smoke. But peace and blessings, Sister Moonfeather. Welcome. I haven't gotten to it yet, to be quite honest. I will get to it. Trust it. I promise you I will get to it. And then let's talk when I get to it. Okay? But I will get to it. And thanks again for that. You know, I get books almost daily. People like donate them to me. So I don't have time to get to everything, but I do promise to get to that. All right. So where are we going first? Okay. We're going to go with I think we're going to go with as is up.
Yeah. Anoint my motherfucking head with oil. That's the ritual we're going to perform today. But I need about 5 more minutes to set myself up over here with slides. I need the blackboard and everything. So I want to take a 5-minute break. But over at the table there, I have Coats of the Shadow by Kenneth Grant. This book goes excellent with the Voodoo Gnostic. It's breaking down the Voodoo Gnostic. It's very heavy. Also, for those of you, if you got the Eternal Now, there's a video I did in Baltimore called The Eternal Now. These are the notes. I've been getting a lot of calls for the notes. Laminated, both sides, breaking down the whole video. Okay? Dealing with dimensions, realities, and time travel. On the table back there. Also, I have the radio station I was on in Buffalo and the lecture I did in Buffalo with the actual documents of the lecture showing the relationship of Colin Powell to George Bush. You want to get these 2 pamphlets? This is the first subject I'm going to deal with, the Illuminoids and the Battle of Light. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to break down some cartoons and superheroes. We're going to deprogram the Cartoon Network. Okay? So we're going to get to some heavy stuff here. And we're going to have a good time doing it. Deprogramming the Cartoon Network. That's right. So let me just set myself up here. Check out the table in the back. It's a lot of rare books, videos, and tapes, including notes.
Not sure what happens here. He kind of goes out, but he comes back in. Just give it a second. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong with your volume. He comes back. I think it's just the and what I was just showing y'all was Cults of the Shadow, what he was just talking about. This is one of those books that's real expensive.
To cause our enemy to attack themselves. The second ritual was a sexual energy ritual countering their energy. And the third one was the same. The third one we did on the summer solstice. That is the specific, most powerful time for you to do a sexual energy ritual.
Summer solstice.
That's the whole thing with Shakespeare when he wrote the play, Midsummer's Night. It's a summer solstice ritual. Tonight, I want to announce another ritual. Now, for those of y'all who saw any of my tapes, you know the language and the things that I talk about. Okay? So we're talking about another sexual energy ritual tonight on Sam Hain from 12 to 1. We're talking about witches around the maypole. Anoint thy head with oil. So, and we're going to talk about some of the things that have come out of these rituals. The first ritual we did brought 550 tornadoes down into the Midwest on a bunch of white folks up in the Midwest. The 2 rituals we did in July and in June, the next thing we knew it was 11,000 crackers burn up in France. And that number was updated to 33,000. Burned the fuck up. And a heat wave just dropped fucking dead. And we're going to show slides of this. Truckloads of dead bodies.
Truckloads.
So you got to understand that all holidays is dealing with us. These holidays come from us. We propagated these holidays for specific purposes.
Remember, I always say, too, if you never heard me, I'm going to say it again. These are the power days. All the so-called pagan days, they all have origins. And they all are power days. So that's what he's talking about.
Halloween was originally a harvest holiday. The corn would grow and you would reap your harvest. If you plant seed and your food would grow, and when it was time to pick the harvest or to slay the harvest, you got a treat. If you didn't do that, then you got a trick. You didn't get any food. The winter was coming and you didn't have any food to store. You see? So what I'm announcing here today on this witches holiday, witches worship the phallus. Now, let me do this real quick.
Pay attention.
You ever seen the sign of Pisces? Two fish. See if I can do this. Facing in opposite directions. Now we know that the vesica Pisces is the vagina. Right? Everybody know that? That's the vesica Pisces. You always see Jesus inside the vesica Pisces. That is the vagina. Men, on the tip of their phallus, have the same symbol. That's why Pisces is two fish. Sperm is fish.
Hear that?
The ritual we were talking about now, most of the rituals deal with female energy. This particular energy here we're dealing with on Halloween, on Samhain, when witches worship the phallus. That's what Osiris was. Right? The manifestation of Osiris was the Tekken, which was the phallus. What I'm trying to give you here is give you energies for yourself to empower yourself here and now. We're going to see things happen. When you go home tonight, male and female, giver and receiver, you're going to go home between the hours of 12 and 1 and worship the phallus. You have to spell it out. Everyone understand me? Women, you're going to go home and suck motherfucking dick. And when you do that, you are worshiping the vesica Pisces.
I'm sorry. It makes me laugh every time. But we didn't view acts like that the way they view stuff like that now. You know what I mean? It's funny the way he said it. That's why I'm laughing about it. You know, we've seen these acts as very sacred, you know, and like he said, Osiris. That's what Osiris was. What was the part of the body that Isis put back? Do your research. Okay. Now, one of the most powerful occult books ever written was this book. Okay. Look how thick this shit is. And I have it on PDF. Right? I had this for years before I realized or came to the conclusion there are actually, yes, this is coded too. There are actually diagrams that go along with this book. And I'm talking about the first 10 lessons, which is the easiest part of the book. You know what I'm saying? Right here. Look at this. This is diagrams that go along with the Voodoo Gnostic workbook. How many of you knew this? Those of you who actually bothered to read it. You see what I'm saying? There's instructions in here. These are diagrams. It's a companion to the Voodoo Gnostic workbook. Okay. Like I said, most grimoires are coded. Okay. Coded. Let me catch back up. Where are y'all? Peace and blessings. Elegant Granny, how are you doing? Good to see you. Where are we? He didn't have a spell book grimoire of his own. He titled his Occult Secrets. I wouldn't necessarily call it I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it a spell book per se. You know, I don't think he put anything like that out. Okay. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, he put Occult Secrets, but there's no not that I'm aware of, and these books are relatively short, but there's no spells in here that you can do. Well, I take that back. Hold on. Let's there may be one or two in here. Give me a second. Book's not very long, like I said. You may have one or two rituals to do, but he was more of a sex magician, like somebody just said. Yeah, he was more of a sex magician, and sex magic is very powerful. It's hands on, and the one I showed y'all last time, the Galactic Nightmare, that's when they did sex magic in the graveyard. See what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, I don't believe he had an actual spell book. I could be wrong. And I looked for his site today, and unfortunately, it's gone. All right, so y'all talking about smoking mugwort. Yeah, he was a sex magician. He was very raw in his uniqueness. You know what I mean? Phallic. Phallic. The way you spelled that. Phallic. Right. Gems in that book. Gems. I mean, if you talking about real deal magic, the Voodoo Gnostic workbook is an adept book to do. The thing, you're going to have to get deep down and dirty in order to work those rituals in that book. Sorry I didn't buy the other books at the time. Everything in its place. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know? All right. There's another, let's see. There's another, there's another clip I want to get to show y'all. If you just give me a second. I want y'all to pay close attention to what the seer says here. Very close attention. Okay? It's important. It's very important.
Spear, right? He existed between, let's say, 1804 and 1887. He was really big with getting people to go up on like different type of rituals to get into the spirit world, because the ritual is the way that the spirits identify with the purpose of the practitioner. So
hear that?
Really into that. There was another guy. There was a woman. I forget her name though, and she was really big. It'll come to me. But she was a Caucasian woman, but she was really deep in spiritual. This way before Blavatsky. Anyway, he decided after he did his little tour in the war, and he seen that the Freedom Bureau was coming to kind of a close, a climax, he decided to wait out the rest of the war. So while Lincoln was going through all his changes or whatever, and going through his great bouts of depression, Randolph was a spiritual advisor and guide to help him get up out of that type of stuff. So a lot of the things that Lincoln was doing, at certain points, people would say that Lincoln and Randolph were attached to the hip. And a lot of the crackers that were dealing with their little fake occultism shit didn't want Lincoln to be down with that because they knew that this was going to keep them from further invaginating themselves into the infrastructure of what we now today call American life. So Randolph basically decided to be like, almost like his spiritual guru. And he became that for a bunch of different people that was around at the time. Rockefeller sought him out, from Standard Oil. What's his name? Elihu Yale. He was kind of on his joint too. The dude who set up the Skull and Bones thing. I'm sorry, I thought I heard Indian drums. Yeah, right? Yeah. So while this is going on, Randolph gets invited to do another tour of Europe. So he says, cool, I'm going to do it. So right when he bounced, that's when they killed Lincoln. And once they killed Lincoln, that's when Hannibal basically became president. But then they basically got him out of there because he was way too dark. And then they tried to get other people in to follow suit. So while he was on tour in Europe, this is when he basically met one of the grandmasters of the Rosicrucians at the time. And this grandmaster was so impressed by him, the fact that Randolph was what we would consider an adept. An adept is somebody who doesn't have to get initiated.
Hear that?
People think when you deal with the occult or masonry or Freemasonry, you got to be initiated into doing that. Now, there's two types of initiation. There's initiation of the entered apprentice, and then there's the initiation of the adept. The adept does not have to be initiated by anybody else because he is initiated by his life experience.
Hear that?
The entered apprentice initiation is those people that feel that they have to go through and be initiated by another man to allow them to receive knowledge in the form of degrees. Now, Randolph was an adept who chose to go through the initiation. So therefore he was both. So he was a Moor who was a Mason, and a Mason who was a Moor. It was basically all the same thing. So when he got initiated into that, he wound up going on a deeper tour and started getting into what they call the Ansaratic mysteries. And the Ansaratic mysteries is dealing with a lot of sex magic. So as he started dealing with the Ansaratic mysteries, he also got involved in another sect called the Nusari.
All right. So y'all get that, right? So in my case, my experiences since the 90s would, have me as an adept. I am now also a gatewalker as far as the Necronomicon is concerned. So I also am both. You know what I mean? Now, I never knock initiation. I've never done that. Okay. For some people, that is their path. That is the way some people have to learn. All right. Now, of course, there are scam artists, and they charge thousands of dollars to do, what they do without me saying too much. You know what I mean? But for some reason, for some people, that has to be their path. I honestly actually considered getting initiated into the ATR at one time. I believe my brothers Terrain and Warlock, I believe both of them are also initiated into a couple things besides the gatewalking process. See what I'm saying? So experience is the best teacher, And I always say, what was my goal? My goal was to have people not go my particular route because that shit was long. It was hard. I learned shit the hard way. See what I'm saying? Same thing with Basil Crouch, aka Basil Lacroix. All right, that London occultist that I'm always talking about. Okay, he traveled the world also learning magic. All right, so experiences was his teacher. And he put out some great books. They're not well known, But if you never heard me say this before, Finbar, who's based out of London, their books are all meat and potatoes. Okay? All meat and potatoes. There's no theory, there's no rules, or none of that. You get all meat and potatoes. There's one such book. Lost Magic Writes from the Archives of Finbar. Finbar is a publisher. Okay? If you buy anything from them, then you're going to have it mailed to you from London. Matter of fact, the Javanese book, Finbar published that book. Okay. Like one of those, they have voodoo rites in here. Voodoo money spell, just as an example. This is very simple. Each time you go out shopping or pay your rent or some other activity that involves spending money, do the following. Place the money you intend to spend before you. Put some tiny drops of green colored money drawing oil on the money and concentrating on the money, say 7 times. Money, money, whom goest away, come back many-fold another day. Now close your eyes and believe all your heart that the money will come back to you in multiplied form. This is an old spell very popular amongst voodooists. One will note the use of the color green for these chants and spells. Green is the traditional color used by occultists and witches in money matters. Okay? Voodooists use some of the spells that's placed in that book. Okay? A lot of people think that because something is simple, it won't work. And you'd be surprised at how simple and quick those particular spells, they work very fast. All right. My whole point, Legacy Sigma, thank you for saying that. Sometimes initiation gives structures and a further path to walk. Sometimes this leads to other things. I have had people come to me who are already initiated. It hasn't in a while, but people who come and wanted to learn more because they only learn certain things. ATR is African traditional religions. Voodoo, Palo Mayombe, Santeria, Kimbanda, Lukumi, African traditional religions. Vernita Handblend, that's bought many from Dunbar. You have some of these books? Self-initiation is real. Yes. Would doing that right be more effective if you combine planetary alignments also? Thank you. That's always my point. You know, you're always supposed to add to it. Bobby Hemmett spoke about this. You're supposed to always add your own flavor to it. Okay? Your own flavor. It gives it power. So yes, it would be more effective. I spoke to E.A. Coeting recently. It's been a while. He was one of the first I heard talk about chakra implants and spiritual parasite removal. Recently, he's not locked up then. I was unaware. Yeah, Vanita, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But E.A. Coeting I thought he was locked up. You know. Okay. I wasn't trying to be funny either. I seriously thought he was locked up. Y'all all right? Right. Here's another one. Voodoo Secrets from A to Z. You will find in this book, this is the same guy, he wrote another book that's purple. That's an excellent book. Voodoo Secrets from A to Z by Robert W. Pelton. And what I found out years later is that he was an initiate. You know, there are some people who get initiated into the mysteries and then they publish books. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You will find very little known Loa in this book, or Orisha. Loa. Okay, Orishas has to do with Santeria. Okay. Very interesting stuff in here. Okay. Everybody wants to write about voodoo dolls. Here's a talisman of Azuli. Ain't that some shit? You see that? That's a penis going through a heart. Voodoo Seekers from A to Z. He is not on YouTube. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying it to bash him. I just thought that's what happened to him. I've bought several of his books. Works of Darkness is one of my favorites of his because it gives you an outline. You know, it gives you a template on how to work with dark energies or demons or whatever you want to call them. Yes, Works of Darkness is pretty good. And so is Evoking Eternity by E.A. Coelho. Learn to separate the person from what happened to them from what they put out. Okay? Get information wherever you can. How about the Brocken with legends connecting to the most witches and devils in Germany? Can you rephrase that, my Cherie? I'm not understanding the question. I have the other voodoo book and scan it as well. It's getting rare. Which other voodoo book are you speaking about? What's the name of the last book? Voodoo Seekers from 8. You might not be able to find this, to be honest. I've had this a while. You might not be able to find it. No. I still have physical books. Remember I was talking about word salad? I have, in case any of you remember me talking about it, because I said people who do the word salad sound like they know what they're talking about, right? I did a live on it last year. Just going to go to it real quick. Let's see if I can. There we go. Heard that they actually show this sister being raped on the show. That's trauma porn. Why would you watch that? Why would you watch slave movies over and over and over again? Okay? I don't watch slave movies. It's trauma porn. That's what I said. It's trauma porn. But we have a habit of watching all that shit. I used to be addicted to the hunting TV show. I remember when I went through a strong spiritual attack. I used methods that the mediums used in the hunting TV shows to fight off the demons. Okay. Faith, yes. Phantasm is a cult classic. Rosemary's Baby. I watched that the other day. Absolutely. I will watch all that every year. All the horror classics, Hellraiser, all that. Hellraiser. Okay. But for people who like to speak like this, if I was to say, start talking like this, we have the trope of individualism or synchronatic expression of different psychonauts. Gotta laugh at myself. Or the aerial assault of chemical compounds to porous assimilation. How would y'all feel if I started talking like that? the masses' inclination towards sensationalism of pop culture. Me too. I watched the Hellraisers as a child, but Jeepers Creatures, I didn't like Jeepers. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. But my point was what I told y'all before, about people using all kind of tactics to grow their audience. Just be careful, all right? Because you break down when someone speaks like that, when you break down what they actually say and what those words mean, you'll be like, huh? You couldn't just say whatever. The name of that one, in case you're interested, because I kind of go in on that one. It's called Beware the Word Salad. All right. So what are y'all talking about? My books in storage in Minnesota from Finbar. What's the address of Finbar? I don't know the address. The address is in London. I do know that. They have a website. All you have to do is go to finbar.com, I believe. It's very easy. That's it. Thank you. Thanks for the assist, Caribbean Grimoire. Voodoo Charms and Talismans. Man, so many Loa that I contacted from that book alone. That book is powerful. Okay? Powerful. His name is Robert Pelton, but come to find out, after I did a little digging, he was an initiate. So, of course, put out a book like that. I like reading different books to get a perspective on the way a sorcerer thinks and how they incorporate this in their magical beliefs. That's why I say get multiple books on the same subject. You get different viewpoints and you start to piece together things on your own. You start putting the puzzles together, the pieces to the puzzle together. The complete book of voodoo by I don't have that one. I don't think I've ever seen that one. I believe they're out of print. Yeah. It's just for the witch's meeting place. It is so high that when the sun is behind it, cast the witch's shadow massively on the villagers below. Okay. That sounds interesting there. I believe they had something like that in the movie Hansel and Gretel. Jeremy Renner was in that one. Also, by the way, the lecture that I showed y'all earlier, Azazel Bay, is called The Science of Superman. He goes in on Halloween night. It's one of his, I put it on Patreon, but you have to be in a certain tier to access it. It is what it is. That's one of his classics and what he charged for. I was going to do something. Oh, let's look. I think I can help you out. I'm looking for it now. I'm looking for the website. It's an easy site to get to. Finbar Incorporated, if I'm not mistaken. Finbar International. Okay. It's going to make a liar out of me because now I can't find it. But I want to give y'all an example, though. They might have taken it down. I don't know. Found Finbar in old emails. I don't think it's Chinese. I don't think so at all. Wicked. Folks love trauma porn. Shit is like psychic attacking oneself. Exactly. I refuse to watch slave movies. I refuse. I'm not watching that shit. If you go to, let me show y'all this right quick. If you go to my particular, I wonder if I can show it this way. Yeah. I have a folder with all my grimoires in. If you look at this, besides Damon Brand, these right here are Finbar books. These that got numbers beside them. Oh yeah, Kingdoms of Flame is another good one by E.A. Coetting. Gates of Dozak is Michael Ford, and Carl Nagel is Carl Nagel. Okay, these they got. I don't know why they have numbers beside them, but these are Finbar books. All of these, they're all meat and potatoes. See what I mean? Baneful Magic was a heavy one too. Okay, Dow Magic is Basil Crouch. And since we're on that subject, I'm going to open it up. Can you see this? Can y'all see that? What are y'all seeing right now? Okay. All right. I want to show y'all. This is one of his best books. And I actually give it out in my demonic magic class. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Secrets of the Black Temple. Warning, this book can be dangerous. Persons in ill health or suffering any mental illness should not have access to this book. Be warned, this is not a fiction book. It can lead you into dark waters if the instructions are not followed. I cannot be held responsible for any damage or ill health through reading this book. You alone are responsible for your actions. Basil E. Crouch. Secrets of the Black Temple. Okay. This is some shit in this book. You know what I mean? And he even has some he even has some voodoo rites in here. You know what I mean? Trust me, it is it's a motherfucker. For lack of a better term, it's a motherfucker. Okay. He, like I said, he went around, he got his initiation by going to these actual places, going to Africa and getting all this knowledge. It's interesting that the very first broadcasting tower was put on that mountain as well. So Finbar International is down. So all these sites coming down, y'all. All this stuff is becoming harder and harder to access. I read Baneful Magic early on my magical path. I had no idea who E.A. Coetting was. That might have been my first introduction to him, but more. You know what I mean? That's when I realized I wasn't about that life. a lot of people come to that realization. A lot of people come to that. Once they start to get a little into it, they be like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And it's okay. It is okay. All right. Right. Even watching shit like Tyler Perry and them type of movies is wild. You know, I refuse to watch that bullet head motherfucker. I really do. I think he's not even believable as a man, and that's fucking sad. You know what I mean? That's fucking sad. He's not believable. He's believable as a man in a dress. I said what I said. Books on Etsy, Amazon for 50 and up. Yeah, they becoming harder and harder to get. I mean, if regular books are starting to get banned, what do you think occult books? What do you think is going to happen to them? One more book. The Secret Lore of Magic by Idris Shah. This one is a very powerful book. You know, look at that first chapter, the Key of Solomon. Okay, but he has Ritual Magic is the first part of this book. Ritual Magic. Okay. White Magic is next. Then comes the Art of Commanding Spirits. Then come Magical Power through Talismans. And the Grimoire Honorius the Great, a Catholic grimoire. See what I'm saying? Powerful shit, but how many people are actually willing to dig to get this information? I have made SSL's lectures available. If I told you how many people have actually come interested after saying You be like, really? It is what it is, man. I don't let shit like that bother me, but you know, I can't say enough about research. They're like the birth of slave films. Indeed, I think it's soul evolution. I got some Finbar books. Gonna go through this live again to check my library. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's some shit in there. It's some shit that when I read it, I was like, I ain't about that life. Cause I was like Brother Moore, I ain't about that life. Cause some of the rituals call for an assistant. You see what I'm saying? And several people, group rituals, coven magic. You know what I mean? That's when I've been solo my whole career, so to speak. I've been a solo practitioner all this time. So me getting with somebody, and I've done a couple of group rituals, but I can count on one hand how many times that was. When did I do what? Legacy 7. Because I need to wrap this up. When did I do what? Back in the day, I thought the 3 books of philosophy was gospel for the occult. That's a good one. Anything by Cornelius Agrippa, the old classics, the Grimorium Verum. Now my memory is failing me. Of course, Crowley. Things did come through him. When did I do that? The classes on Bay. Oh, it's in my Patreon. I made that available on Patreon. I made his lecture. There's a shop on Patreon. If you go to my Patreon page, there's a shop there. You would click on shop. Let me show you real quick. Just to give an example. As soon as I can find it. I still am trying to add new content, but some of his lesser known, like this one, I still need to add more. I wonder if there was a melanated. He was a Cornelius Agrippa. Most of this stuff comes from melanated people. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. It is what it is. This is a fact. That is not my opinion. Don't let no one tell you that's racist thinking. That's bullshit. You see what I'm saying? That's bullshit. All right. That's going to do it for me today. Thank y'all for joining me. Again, I had a great live with the professor, Michael Bell, on Sunday. Please check that out. I will be back probably Thursday. If not Thursday, next Tuesday. Y'all know how I do. Okay. What was that book or that word you mentioned on shape-shifting in the astral plane? I couldn't find it. I think I spelled it wrong. It's called lycanthropy. Everybody, thanks for coming. I will see y'all next time. I'm the one and only, the sinister, intelligent, hilarious, the diabolical Magick LaCroix. I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out for now. As I greet you in peace, as always, namaste. Thanks, y'all.